Today's episode of The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown is brought to you by Jeanette McKenzie, Realtor at Forest Hill Signature, and Jewelry Forever at jewelryforever.ca. Enjoy the show.
Broadcasting live from Glenmore Record Studios in Toronto, this is The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown, your Sunday morning talk show with interesting guests, live musical performances, and the most fun you can fit in your coffee cup. Hosted by Scott Dion Brown and Regina Elena. This is The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to episode 175 of The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown. I am your host, the one, the only Scott Dion Brown. Hello. Hey, Thomas, what's up? Chugga chugga woo woo. Scott and Regina's here, and they're interviewing you. That's right, although, Thomas, Regina actually is not here today. She's busy. She wasn't able to make it today, so Regina, we will have to find a way to move on and get through this without you, but we'll see you next week. Hi, Thomas. Everybody who's tuning in, good morning. Hello. Welcome all of you to the show. Yes, Regina is our co-host, but, today you guys just get me.
That's just fine.
Yeah. But hello, everybody.
Are we live right now?
We are live right now. We are on the show. In fact, I should probably introduce you guys, because the people are hearing voices they don't know. Who is it? Ladies and gentlemen, our guest today, rock and rollers, who have just come out with a brand new, hard-hitting single. Show Me is the title. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the sit down, 2DrinkTheFish. Hello.
Yay! How are you? Good morning.
Good. How are you guys?
We're great. Thank you.
Great.
Good to be here.
Yeah.
Good to see
Glad
you.
you're here. My first question was going to be the story behind the band name, but last night I went on your website and I was reading through your bio, and I think my Canadian bilingual French education helped me crack the code, possibly. So I think I've got it, but you tell me if I'm right. So, two is the two because there's two of you? Is that the right?
Well,
Maybe
initially when we started this whole process, we hadn't a name yet, and I said to Lee one day, I says, I think I got a name for us, and he's like, what do you got? And I said, well, there's two of us. I said, my last name in French is Bois, and it means to drink. So I said, what if we, instead of saying T-O, we put a two, meaning the two of us. And Lee Fishley, his last name is Fishley, but all his friends call him the Fish. So I thought, there's a great handle right there, to drink the fish. And it's so quirky. It's just, so we decided then it was great. Yeah, let's stick with it. See what happens.
It is a cool name. Okay, good. I was right. Yeah, as soon as I saw, I'm like, wait a minute. Wow, yeah, okay. And then I went, okay, I got it. But it works.
Well, here's the rocket science part, is that boire means to drink, and fish means fish in English.
Yeah.
There's rocket science. So.
It works. And what's nice about it as well is it's unique in that you guys were able to get the Instagram handle without having to add like oftentimes if you try to get the Instagram or any social media account, it'll be like you have to put official or some other weird thing, or you were able to just get the band name straight up as your Instagram.
Yeah, there's no other name out there like that. I mean, I've searched it on the internet. It doesn't come up until now. So it works. It's great. There won't be any issues.
That makes it good. What was the decision to make it? Because I think you guys spell it as kind of as one long word, right? Everywhere I've seen it typed.
Yeah, 2DrinkTheFish is all together. Yeah, capitalized on each word, like capital D, capital T, capital F.
Was an aesthetic choice, I guess, or what was
Yeah, I guess just the look. Yeah, for sure.
I don't know.
Sweet.
We've never done it before, so it worked.
it is cool and it is memorable, and
thanks.
yeah, it works. So I did want to ask a little bit, because I saw a bit on the website, but I wanted to get into a bit about how the band was formed, because it sounds like it started because you guys were being noisy at the back of the.
Yeah, do you want to talk about that later?
Yeah, well, I about 10 or 12 years ago, I was regularly jamming with my son on drums, and I was playing bass. And I had this guitar teacher, and we would jam in his basement every Saturday. And anyways, it was just me, my son, and the guitar teacher. And we were having a great time. And I don't know, Mike Boyer, like I am a defense lawyer, and so I'm running around in the Guelph criminal courts, and Mike Boyer's doing the security for the Guelph Police Service, right? So I don't know, he heard me talking about music, and he starts coming by, and he says, what's going on? And then we started arguing about different bands and stuff like that. In particular,
Well, it was friendlier.
oh yeah,
More of a discussion.
yeah. Well, then like I was a real
Debate.
a classic Genesis fan, and then he kept following Genesis after Peter Gabriel left, and that's when it got heated. And I was like, oh, how do you do that? Anyways, we got kicked out of the courtroom because we were making too much noise. But we realized that
And I'm supposed to be securing, making sure everybody's cooperating, behaving. And I'm the guy that gets kicked out.
and once we got out of the hall, it got even louder. But we realized that, we obviously are really passionate about this. And then it arrived. I thought, you know what? I'm playing. We're going to jam this Saturday. And he kept saying he wants to try singing, and he never had. Like, we're in our 50s now, right? And he said, I want to try singing. And I said, well, why don't you come to the basement at Dave's place? We don't have a singer. And if you don't do it now, you never will. So let's do it. And that very weekend, he shows up and just sang his heart out. And we did it again the next weekend, and the next weekend, and the next weekend. And it was like, we went to a few bars.
Yeah. We actually did a couple of live shows in bars in Allura.
Yeah, so
It was a lot of fun.
I would have been on bass. He was doing the singing. Cass, my son, was on the drums, and then we had Dave, who was our guitar teacher, but he came out to these live mic performances, and that was really good.
Yeah, and eventually it came to the point where we had. I was kind of feeling like we'd been doing this for how long? Maybe 2 years, and we decided, well, kind of together. I said, I'm just kind of tired of trying to be like somebody else, like trying to sing like Sting or like Eric Clapton, or the Beatles. We were doing all sorts of songs, and I thought, I want to try something different. And Lee and I were talking, and then I went out and bought some equipment, some recording equipment, and I said, let's get together and see what we can come up with. And see if we can find our own sound, and we did. We're pretty proud of that. So.
Well, this was I guess someone asked about the moment. And the moment was, we realized that we can never sound as good as these bands that we love so much. We were always falling short of the mark. And he's a very perfectionist kind of guy. I'm not so much, but with Mike, I get that way too, I have to admit. And then he said, well, what if we had our own sound? And it occurred to me, I thought, then we're not going to compare it to anybody. We're never going to feel falling short of the mark. And that's exactly what happened, is that we got together, we put some songs together, and we said, God, I like that. And because we weren't trying to sound like Neil Young, we weren't trying to sound like
Anybody.
And we just sounded like ourselves, and all of a sudden it was satisfying. It wasn't always following short.
Yeah, and we always felt like whatever we do, we're doing it for ourselves. We've got to love what we're doing. And if anyone else out there loves what we're doing, fantastic. But as long as we're happy with it and we're doing what we want to do, that's all that really matters.
It was basically the two of us going over to his place, and we'd say, okay, I'll see you after dinner. I get there at 7. And sometimes we wouldn't walk out of there. I wouldn't leave until like 1:30. Just exhausted, but having so much fun. this is the part that I find most exciting, but almost spiritual, really, is that we would get together, and all of a sudden, all this music would happen. It would just bounce back and forth. So it's all original, and I don't know where it came from. And sometimes nothing would happen, but almost every time something would happen, and then we'd stay up till 1 o'clock until it was all in the recording.
Yeah. There were nights where we'd be, we'd get together like after dinner, maybe 6:30, and nothing would happen. Like we'd be trying, and this isn't working out. So we just stop. We just start talking, chatting about things, work, life, whatever. And then for whatever reason, I'd turn to the keyboards and start doing something. And then all of a sudden it just clicked. It was like, we got something now, like it just took some time to relax and get into it rather than force it. So it worked. It all came together eventually. And here we are today. We've got 10 songs. We've got an album.
One song it almost killed us, but it's 11 and a half minutes long. It's the last song we did. And it's a whole anthem to John Lennon. We were both another person that we both felt so passionate about, John Lennon. We just loved John Lennon from the Beatles. And so we did this whole, so almost like this,
like a medley
of all this stuff of our feelings around John Lennon. And it all, one of those ones that all came to us as we went. And we got help we co-wrote that song with Michael Hansen. Yeah, Michael.
I'm Mike.
He's Michael Hansen.
I don't know, for the last, I don't know how many years, 3 years now, I keep saying to Lee, I'm Mike. He's Michael. Keep saying Mike, and then we both, who are you talking to?
And I always say, there's just many mothers that can't come up with another name than Mike. That's all I'm upset about. I mean, geez.
You don't see too many 11-minute songs anymore.
Yeah.
They don't do them that way, but there's definitely, the era of, I know the music that you guys are really influenced by, and even myself, like the 60s, the 70s, you see a lot, there was a lot more freedom, I guess, to explore musically back then. So I like that you guys are drawing from that era, because it's, I think it was a more interesting time.
Yeah, there's a lot of influences, like you name it. I loved everything that came out back in those days. I'm the youngest of 4 kids, so my teenage sisters would come home with these albums, like Cat Stevens, even or Led Zeppelin, The Who. Like they'd be playing these records on their record player, and as a young kid, I'd just eat this stuff up. Like I loved music. I could just sit all day and listen to it. I wanted to know who sang it, who the band was. I wanted to know about them. I was so fascinated and intrigued by that, and it's been with me ever since. Like just music is in my blood,
Awesome.
And I know Lee the same way. We both love music and all sorts of different bands and singers. So
I lived through it.
Well, speaking of the music, why don't let's give a listen. We've got, you guys just dropped a brand new single on us.
Sure.
Show Me. So why don't we give it a listen, and then we can talk about it after. Yeah, let's show the people we're here today. By the way, all of you, hit that like button on the video, boop the like button, boop, and let's give a listen from 2DrinkTheFish. Oh yeah, what were you gonna say?
Well, Scott, yeah, the end of the song is we're really trying to, just because we both love the Who, and the end of the song is our Who freak out, particularly Keith Moon. We love Keith Moon. Love him.
Nice. All right, guys, watch for that at the end. Here it is. Show Me by 2DrinkTheFish.
Show me
And that was Show Me by 2DrinkTheFish. And Vicky Ray in the chat says, you guys rock.
Hi, Vicky.
And I agree. Yeah, that breakdown at the end. I mean, the thing is, for me, it's
Thanks,
not just
Vicky.
it's not just the breakdown. There's several parts in the song that it has. Your song has like kind of unique parts. Almost, it's not. I wouldn't necessarily call it prog rock necessarily, although there's some elements of it. But it's like there's a lot more going on there than I think that you typically hear, especially nowadays. So I just wanted to ask a little bit about like what was it like composing a song like that?
Well, you're going to find that that's kind of our style. We do have a few songs on the album that are more, tend to be more like a normal pop song where it's, you've got your different, first verse, bridge kind of thing, sort of the basic song. But a lot of our songs also carry you through a journey. It takes you on a bit of a ride, and that's just what we love doing. Connecting the dots eventually.
I think he said it right. That it's a journey. We turned almost every song into some kind of a journey. We got one song, "Angry Young Boys," which we're trying. That's about 7.5 minutes long, and it changes around a lot, and it has some really beautiful parts to it, and then it has a really heavy rocking part, and then it goes back to some beautiful messaging, and then a crazy rock and roll ending. But it doesn't go crazy so much as "Show Me" does at the end, but it still is a really good ending. I don't know. We're trying to be. It's more like a journey each song. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. I like it a lot. Is it more? So I guess when you're composing a song like that, is it something that kind of comes out of? Are you all sort of playing together, like jamming it out, or do you find is it one of you kind of writing parts and then you're kind of piecing it together, or is it a mix of both?
Well, sometimes like when we were in the writing stage, Lee might come in. Like we did all this at my house. Lee would come in. There would be times where I'd be like, I've got something. Get in here quick. We got to do this, So check this out, and I'd be playing, and then Lee would come in and pull out his bass and start playing along with it. And before you knew it, like I hit the record, and now we're recording. And then that's how it kind of, it sort of just blossomed that way. Each song had its own uniqueness to it, and we both added things. And then once we heard it, we'd play it back, and that's when the juices started flowing. It's like, hey, I've got another idea here, and then let's try this and get into this, and then we just connected everything. Eventually, we ended up with a song, and then like there's a song on our album called "Words," and I had this thing on the keyboard, and this was one night where I said, "Lee, check this out." He came in and he listened. Next thing he did was pull his bass out and started playing to it, and before you knew it, that night we had words written. Like it was done in one night.
Yeah.
And we didn't have the lyrics yet, so we played it back, we listened to it, and we're like, oh my gosh, this is fantastic for us. And then I looked at Lee and I said, what do you think? What have you got any lyrics? And he goes, well, I think I've got something here. And he pulls it out, and it said words. Well, the title wasn't words, but there were words in the words, right? So anyways, we just started like, and so how you sing to the song is basically you just read it and you're trying to improvise and sing along, and eventually I got it, so then we go, well, what are we going to call this song? Words. Let's call it Words.
I wrote the lyrics for Words about 3 years before the song was ever written.
Yeah.
So the song came together, and I pulled it out of my guitar case and said, well, this is some words that I did about 2 years ago. What do you think? And then he starts singing it to the song, and then
I got in there and changed a couple of lines. I changed that I felt, let's just try some words and different lines. And so we both absolutely added to the song with lyrics, and it's fantastic in my opinion.
Like for Let It In, we're right in the midst of writing it, and then I started singing this part, right, and then I made a sound. Ah! I don't know why I did, and Mike goes, "Do that again." Okay. Ah! And now it's all over. Let it in is this yell or whatever that is, and that's how it happens. It just doesn't. There's no plan. It's just like spontaneous.
We're just acting like a couple of teenagers again.
That's it.
We're by ourselves and nobody's watching.
Nobody's there.
Judging. We're just in there having fun and we're trying things.
Yeah.
We're very experimental with our stuff. So
yeah.
That's how it works.
Awesome. So it sounds like it just comes out of it's just a pure experimentation, kind of passion project, labor of love, and you just see where it goes.
Absolutely.
Like teenagers playing with sound. It is really what we're doing, because we never went anywhere or had any plans. Like, this was several years ago. It was just playing at Mike's place with sound.
And we're running out of time, so we needed to catch up.
What do you mean?
Well, we're old, so we needed to get back as a teenager and get in there and do what we wanted to do.
That's
all our lives.
Good point. If there's something I ever wanted to do, it was this. Okay, but I've spent the last 30 years being a lawyer. Okay, and Mike spent the last 30 years doing his security work and all that stuff. And we always wanted to do this in our hearts. Sure. And then we just said, let's just do it. Like, what the hell? Let's just do it for fun. Here we are today.
Awesome. In fact, that's one thing that did surprise me when I found that, Mike, so you had never sang in bands of any kind before this?
No, actually, years ago I went to my buddy when I was younger drove a truck. He was a trucker. He sells trucks now down in Arizona, and he would go on trips from Canada into the States, and he'd be gone for like a week sometimes. So he'd be bugging me all the time. Hey, let's go why don't you come with me and we'll go hang out together for a week. And so like one week I said, you know what, I'll do it. Let's go. Never been on the road with a trucker before. So it was a lot of fun. We went to a bar one night and they had karaoke. So I'm like in my early 20s. I thought, hey, what the heck, let's do this. I'm going to get up and sing, because I don't know anybody in here and I didn't feel uncomfortable doing it. I just thought, nobody knows me anyway. So I went up and I sang a police song. I think it was Roxanne. And I was done. I sat down. A couple of people come over to me, didn't know who they were. They're like, that was awesome, man. And I'm like, thanks. So I think I kind of knew I liked to sing, and maybe one day that would be pretty cool to do, but it never happened. Like most people move on in life and do their thing, but
got to pay the bills, man. You got to pay the mortgage. You got to pay your taxes. It's just, then you have children, which is great, but things get pushed aside. Yeah.
I got to tell you a quick story about, so our producer, Michael Hansen, his company's Radar Love Records. And so I've lived in Guelph since 1975, my parents moved from Toronto, and my two nieces one was 11 at the time, and one was 9, I think. They're a couple of years different. Glass Tiger was coming to Guelph, and back in the 80s, Glass Tiger, if anyone knows Glass Tiger, was a huge band in the 80s, Canadian band. And my nieces were like, oh, I want to go see Glass Tiger, they would be awesome to go see. So I'm like in my I'm not sure how old I was, late teens, early 20s. And so I went and got some tickets and I bought them and we went to see Glass Tiger. So here I am in back in that day, it was the Memorial Gardens. It's now the City Hall. They've put, there's a new arena in Guelph now. But so here I am I felt like I was one of maybe 20 guys. The rest were all screaming young girls and teenagers, like women. And my ears bled for 2 days after that. But here I am thinking to myself now, who would have thought that I was standing and sitting, I guess, and watching Glass Tiger and thinking to myself, like, I wouldn't have thought that I would have been working with Michael Hansen from Glass Tiger this many years later, right? It's a kind of a funny story, right? To awesome. Think that happened, But,
hi, Jellyfish. Welcome to the show. Oh, Cindy, who just subscribed to the channel. Thank you, Cindy. Hello. She wrote, very interesting. Everyone does things different. Experimenting with music, lyrics, and watching it unfold into a song is fantastic. She wrote, keep putting out music. I love your music, so keep it coming.
Nice. Thank you.
Nice.
Awesome.
Well,
Thank you for that.
we'll see if you like it all.
Yeah. In fact, so speaking of that, so you have you put out the one single so far, but I know you said you've got a whole album ready. So what's the plan for when the world gets to hear the rest?
Well, we've got another single coming out, and we're debating it, but we think it's going to be "Let It In," but we're still talking about that, and that should come out in about 2 more weeks. Then we've got 8 other songs, all produced, all mastered, and that'll be the album. So we expect that'll come out about 2 weeks after that. And every single song is different. You can't say, oh, that's 2DrinkTheFish, because each song will be, whoa, who's that? Well, it's 2DrinkTheFish, because each song will be quite different, you'll find.
That's what I like. I've always prided myself on that. We've talked a lot about that all of our songs don't sound the same. It's not like I think some people will identify with it, but for the most part, I think people are going to go, that's the same band that's singing this, like that's playing this song. And that's what I pride myself on mostly, is that each song doesn't sound the same. Like they've got their own uniqueness to them.
Yeah.
I love that. Because I that's what I always used to love about like the Beatles, right? Like you could listen to like even one album, you'll go through and one song will have like George he's gone to India and he's got all these weird drums going on,
Right.
And then the next song is and it's like they're like almost inventing new genres every song. And you're right, somewhere along the line things got a lot more, a band sounds like this and this is what that band sounds like. So I like that you guys are more pulling from
Yeah. Can't wait for you to hear it, actually, the rest of it.
Cool.
See what you have to say about it.
Well, it's all spontaneous, really, being played by the muse in many respects. Like, and also this was another struggle we had, was we got started with producing it, and our producer, sort of wanted to smooth things out and wanted to make it, I don't know, popular. And we immediately looked at each other and says, no. We just want to make stuff we like to hear. And we don't care. We just want to make stuff that we like to hear, because otherwise we're not going to enjoy this, And so he goes, okay. And so that's actually what you're getting right now. A good example is Show Me is like, no, you can't speed up the tempo. Yes, we have to. We must.
And in fairness to Hans, we call him Hans, Michael Hansen. And in fairness to Hans, he did come around real quick. And he's produced our album absolutely fantastic.
Oh, unbelievable. Just incredible. Yeah.
He's been our pillar.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I think, even if I can understand the idea of, make it more commercial or more, I mean, the thing is, what you're describing, there's definitely people, myself included, who will like what you guys are doing for exactly that reason. Like there are lots of people who like music that does more than just, well, what people would say popular or whatever, So I think keeping it true, you're going to find an audience that is like, yeah, that's what we like.
Well, I hope.
Let's hope so.
I hope to give some hope to people as well. It's a good word, because maybe it is never too late to do what you really wanted to do. Even though life gets pushing it aside. My kids are grown up now. Mike's retired. I'm getting close to retirement, and we found the time. I'll tell you what else happened. COVID happened, okay? Because of COVID, my workload dropped in half. And so I started going to produce this music every week. Once a week, we were down, in Mississauga at the studio going at this together. And I had the time because of COVID. And so, it's never too late to do what you want to do. Even if you think it is, it's not. It's not too late.
It's awesome.
Well,
yeah. I want to I have to quickly read the ads. We have to do the ad break because we're about to have a point. But when we come back, the thing I do want to ask about next is the music video for the show, because the music video is like a whole experience of it in and of itself. So I do want to find out about that. But
cool.
But first, ladies and gentlemen, today's episode of the Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown is brought to you by the following fantastic advertisers. Ladies and gentlemen, the Toronto real estate market is growing and changing every day. In these challenging times, you need someone in your corner. Jeanette McKenzie, Realtor at Forest Hill Signature, is committed to looking out for you. She'll go the extra mile to ensure you have all the information you need to make a decision you can feel confident about. Purchasing a home is one of the biggest financial investments you'll make in life. Don't leave it to chance. Call Jeanette McKenzie at Forest Hill Signature. She's my realtor, and she could be yours. Call today at 416-523-0408 or email at JMckenziehomes@gmail.com. Jewelry forever. Conveniently located at CF Markville Shopping Center on 5000 Highway 7 East Markham. They do custom-made jewelry, repairs, and change watch batteries, all done on site. Jerry at Jewelry Forever is an absolute artist. He specializes in custom, beautiful works of art. If you have a vision for something you'd like made, he is your man. And we have a great deal worked out with them. Tell them that that Scott and Regine sent you. Mention the show. Get 15% off your purchase. It's a great time to get something great for, where are we now? This is almost Easter. Some event is coming up where you need to buy a gift for somebody. Go to jewelryforever.ca for more info. Also follow them on TikTok because he posts a lot of really cool stuff that he does when he's either building something custom or repairing. Check him out. Jewelry Forever, everybody. And if you would like to advertise on the show, it's very easy. All you got to do is send us an email at radioshowad@gmail.com. We do the show live every week. And we also do the ads live every week. What that means is you can personalize the ads week to week. Do you have an event, a sale, something happening at a particular time in a particular place? You let us know. We let your potential client base know in real time. It's a great way to build a brand new relationship with a brand new audience. Get in touch. radioshowad@gmail.com. And we're back, everybody, with 2DrinkTheFish, indie rock band out of Guelph, Ontario, Canada. I wanted to ask about the music video because it's pretty trippy. I like it, and it feels the sound. So tell me about the music video.
I'm glad you like it. Well, we initially didn't really know what we were going to do for a video, so we thought we'd just wing it. We thought, well, I ended up putting most of the stuff together, just what you see is what pretty much I've done on my own. So
cool. Have you so you were the editor behind it and everything? Have you?
Yeah, I pieced it all together. Like we had film. Lee came over to my place one day and we spent a whole day filming in the basement and then just pieced it all together, layered it. There's a lot of layering going on where you see a lot of different things happening. And I think what we really wanted to try and do was not take away from the song so much. Mm-hmm. Like, sure, you're certainly watching the video, but you're also watching it like you're watching a live performance almost. It's a cartoon comic strip thing, but at the same time, you're still watching a live show, per se, There's a couple of moments where I'm on the sea-doo with my little dog. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
That was a great little moment. And it's just the way he sat there and looked around and kind of looked at the camera, and then Lee with his kiteboarding. And so we added a couple of different elements to it, but in the end, we didn't want to take away from the song so much. We didn't want a storyline so that you start watching the story going, how's this going to end, Mm-hmm. Rather than you're into the song and you're just rocking to the song to us, and that's how we wanted to project it,
Yeah, so it's just like a lot of imagery, like just cool imagery that kind of complements the feel, right?
Yeah, it occurred to us that there, so many videos, what happens is that you're listening to the music and then all of a sudden your mind, because we're actually, people are very simple-minded, they can only do one thing, and all of a sudden you're watching a video and you're not listening,
watch it, buddy.
You're not listening to the music, and so the music all of a sudden becomes background to a movie that you're watching. And so that was the one thing we were worrying about. So we watched other videos and we saw, okay, now I'm listening to music. Okay, when did I stop listening to the music? As soon as I wanted to know what was going to happen next in this movie, that's when I stopped listening to the music. And so we said, okay, let's try to keep the music in your face all the time. And I think he nailed it. I think he beautifully nailed it.
And I think there's so much layering going on in there that you might want to watch it a couple of times, just to say, oh, I missed that last time. I didn't even see that until the second or third time, right? So it's an interesting little video. I'm happy I did it. I'm glad so far there's some good results from it. But.
So have you done much editing in the past, or was this kind of your first?
I used to, when I was a younger man, I did some recording. Like I've done weddings, stag and does and stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm kind of dabbled in it a little bit. I kind of knew what I was doing in a way, but of course with the new programs, it takes a bit of time to get used to them. But yeah, I finally got into it and figured out most of it. So it's a learning curve again, but I enjoy that. I just enjoy getting into it and getting my hands into it. And it's like a ball of clay, right? And you're just working it.
Yep. Well, it's an awesome video. It's a trip. I encourage everybody who's watching, make sure you subscribe to them. The link for their YouTube channel is in the description. Head on over there after this and check out the music video. What you're saying about it makes a lot of sense, because you're right. It's not like that, how videos are like a short film these days. I mean, not all the time, but a lot of them are. But this one, it's very much, it feels like the music is driving the imagery and not the other way around.
Right.
And it's almost like the kind of thing, like if you guys were playing like a stadium show, you could have the video playing kind of like as the thing behind you guys, because it's like just cool imagery, like, so the band's on the stage and then there's like stuff flying behind them. Kind of almost feels like that. Whereas it doesn't, like what you said, it doesn't distract you from the song or forget that you're watching or that you're listening to music. It's just
and what I kind of liked about it too, personally, we started out in my truck, like live, like we were just normal two guys in the truck. And then when we got out and it turned into a comic strip,
Yeah.
And it was kind of like our little fantasy world going into our own musical world, right? And then at the end, we came back to reality again and got back in the truck and we were laughing. It was like our dream, There it is. It happened.
Awesome. So check it out, everybody. The music video for Show Me. So I know you guys were saying earlier, so when you first started jamming, you were playing basically cover songs and those are your main gigs. Have you guys done a gig yet of your originals, or is there plans to? I know obviously COVID has kind of stopped a lot of live music, but what's the plan in terms of?
Well, nothing yet, but we're planning. We'd like to do some live shows for sure.
I'd love to. The closest we've gotten to it is we blasted most of the album at Mike's place one night, and I just think it'd be a great rock show, because each song has got so much story and so much journey to it. I think it would just be a great rock show.
And we've talked about that. We've actually talked about doing live shows, and kind of like the old Genesis shows where it was theatrical as well, not just so much, a little bit of theatrical going on in there as well, which would kind of make it interesting and fun for the crowd,
Yeah, I don't mind theatrics.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. There's several live music venues in Guelph, right?
Oh yeah, like the River Run Center would be phenomenal. Like, it'd be just a beautiful place to do it.
Yeah. Riverside, there's an open stadium there at Riverside Park.
Yeah. We'll just see where this goes. If enough people say, look, we got to see a live show of this, it would be great. It would be a lot of fun to do. It really would. But we'll just see where this goes.
Yeah, I think you should push towards that. I mean, I think it would be awesome. Like, again, I've only heard "Show Me" so far, but I feel like I would love to see that live. Like, that would be an awesome.
Well, we'll do one song live, and then we'll go home. And
I want you to hear "Angry Young Boys." That would be a great rock show. That one, and all of them actually, I think, would be a good journey.
Yeah, and what's nice for our future is we still have more songs. Like we've done 10, and we still have many more songs that we'd like to get out there. So who knows? We might be in the studio again.
Yeah, we've got like several that I think are still, I like a lot, that we haven't even touched, which are still on his computer from back in the day, you know. Plus, when we get together, new stuff comes up and we forget about the old stuff, you know. So
that's the hard part. Just staying focused with one song and finishing it without going on to something else. But we've done that. We've sat, you know, we've put a song on a shelf and moved on to another song. So we've got lots in the still on the shelf waiting for us, you know.
Cool.
We'll see what happens with them.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's okay. I think that's a fairly natural thing to happen, especially with creative stuff, right? Is that you don't know what'll inspire you in a particular moment, and so you might get it. Oh wait, this is going to work so well in this show. Okay, we should, you know. And I mean,
we love the two new ones. For example, the ones we did with Mike Hansen, which were spontaneous. We had dinner at Mike's, and then Michael Hansen goes, "You guys, I really always wanted to do this song, and I need you guys to help me do it. Let's do it." And so we had dinner and we did the song. We had it written in one night with Mike Hansen, and all we did with Michael Hansen, I call him Hans, and then all we did was just clean it up and polish it up and clean it up and polish it up. But it was written in one night. Yeah. Now the other one, Unimaginable, that's 11 and a half minutes. That was over, I don't know. I think it was 4 months at least, and it almost killed us, but it was so worth it. Like I never thought we'd get through it. We did, and it all fits. I think it really does fit, and it's a great journey, all about John Lennon, who all three of us were so passionate about John Lennon. So it was great to get it out. Yeah.
Cool. So you said, your next song will be out in a couple weeks, and then so is it going to be sort of like you're going to release the whole album like one song at a time, just sort of over a stretch of time, or how's it going?
No, I think what we've decided is we're releasing Show Me, and then we're kind of still on the table here as far as what songs next. We had talked about putting out Let It In, but it's a bit of a slower song, so I'm just, you know, maybe it's just one of those things. Do we release a faster song and then Let It In and then the album, or do we just do two and then let the album go, you know, like, so I think maybe we'll do two and then just let the album go, but we're still going to talk about that.
Do you think you'll do a music video as well for the second one?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. For sure. Nice. We're going to do our own thing again. I mean, we're on a bit of a budget, so I mean,
we're a bit of a budget.
The first one worked out, so I mean, I'm sure we can do another one, right?
We're on a budget, I'll tell you. We're on a budget. God, we're on a budget. So
cool. So everybody, make sure you are subscribed to their channel. In fact, we should probably where should people be following you? So I know YouTube for sure. I guess Instagram. Where should people be following you guys if they want to get the latest of, you know, everything that's going on?
Well, we've got our own website. We've got Instagram, Spotify. It's all going to happen on all media platforms.
Yeah, people have to remember, if they do want to go, it's 2DrinkTheFish, but it's all one word, and it's the number 2, not the letters TWO. So 2DrinkTheFish, all one word, will get you to, like, there's no other place you'll go to but to our site.
Yeah. And the website, I believe it's just 2drinkthefish.com, right? I think it is.
That's correct.
2drinkthefish.com.
Yeah. All is one word, though. If you put spaces, it won't recognize it. So, yeah.
I think it's actually, in a cool way, the name is also almost more fitting in like this modern world of like, everyone's got like hashtags and everything. Everything is squishing words together anyway. So in a way, it kind of fits right into like what works. And I also like that you guys were able to get the social media handle for it, and because it's just a very unique phrase, it's great that anybody who searches it, it'll just go straight to you.
We've got all these pictures we took in the bar, and we have a friend of ours, Joe, and he's got this giant mug of beer, and in the beer we stuck a big dead fish, and you can see its eyes sticking out, and Joe is in the bar with us, and he's holding the thing up, and there's big fishes, and We thought that might work too, to catch some attention, right?
By the way, there was no waste on the fish. We did end up eating it. Just so you know.
That's true.
Awesome. So make sure you follow them. Yeah, Cindy says they have a website, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook as well. There you go. Just search up 2DrinkTheFish, all one word, the number 2, and you'll get all the latest stuff. Awesome. That's amazing. Everybody, make sure you hit like on this video. So I guess before we wrap things up, well, we know what's. I did want to ask in terms of how you write the songs, because I want to see them live. I was just curious, like, when you're writing them, are you writing them just sort of in the moment, like, oh, this will sound cool, or is there a thought in your head of like, oh, this would be cool? Like, do you have it with a live show in mind? Because they feel like they would work well live, but I don't know if that's in your mind as you're writing it or not.
No, like a lot of times I'm at home working on keyboards and just working out something on my own. And then Lee will come along later, or Lee will have something to come to the plate with, and he'll say, I've got this, what do you think of this? And then he starts playing it, and then I'll start playing to it and adding and subtracting. And it's a bit of a math quiz, but that's usually how it happens. I usually have something, or Lee has something, and then from there we just, first thing we want to do is hit record. We don't want to lose anything because they're all great ideas, or maybe not so great, but at least we've got it down, and then we can kind of manipulate it. I like to look at it like a ball of clay, right? We start with the ball, and then we start to manipulate the ball a bit.
There's one other thing that's really important here is the personality dynamics. Is that we have, certainly we're very different persons, and we constantly respect each other's differences. And the one place that we always agree on, almost invariably, is music. Like, he'll go, what do you think? And I'll go, yes. Or I'll go, no. And he'll go, yeah, I don't like it either. The same thing. He goes, look at this, or I'll go, what do you think of this, Mike? And he goes, no. And I go, yeah, I don't think so either. We just always seem to agree on music, if nothing else.
Or we like it, but I love that, but what about this? Or add a little into this. Or take away, and then we just both start to get our hands onto this thing, and it works out. We end up with something special for us. And
it's truly just a musical relationship in that respect. Like, it's just like that's the common ground for us, which we're going, that's our aha, if you will. It's like,
and let's not forget, we're just like young kids starting out, like we don't have a lifelong history of playing music. I mean, I only picked up the guitar and keyboards maybe 10 years ago, but didn't really get into this until like 3 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. And I think the same goes for you too, Lee.
So we're totally unprofessional, we're totally unpolished, we're complete amateurs, and yet that might add to the charm, because like, we're not controlled by anyone, in the sense that we're not trying to sound like anyone, and we just want to just do what happens to us,
be who we want to be.
Yeah. So we're not over musically educated, that's for sure. I can't even read music, neither can he, but we just know what we like to hear. So,
and the nice thing about it is that, again, I keep saying this, but we're just doing it for ourselves. We're just having fun with it, Wherever it takes us, fantastic. If it doesn't take us anywhere, fantastic.
Yeah. I'm really happy. I love the album, so that's that. Whatever happens from here, it doesn't matter. I'm perfectly satisfied.
And we're both, we both have lived long lives of careers. So there's no pressure for us to, if this doesn't go anywhere, we're in big trouble, kind of thing. It's just, it is what it is.
I'm still going to retire. You got that right.
It's awesome. Well, I think it's working. I'm glad that you guys
appreciate that.
I'm glad you guys disrupted the court proceedings on that fateful day.
More than once.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some funny stories in there, like Lee and I think we got removed out of court twice on 2 different days about music, right? And then we just live music, so we're living in that moment and forget where we are, right? And all of a sudden the judge is saying, you need to leave for now. Just out you go. Okay, let's go talk.
Okay, we get louder in the hallway. Yeah.
It's really funny that a special constable and a lawyer gets removed from a courtroom.
Well, okay, we would at these jams. The jams get pretty loud. So if the next day we're probably talking too loud. So
that's true. We don't even realize it, right? It's just because we've had the music going on all night the night before, and we get into court and we're like, what did you think about that? I don't know.
My ears permanently ring now. Okay, like it's just, but I don't care. It was worth it. It was totally worth it.
Yeah, that's the normal feeling after a long band rehearsal. Yeah, everybody's
and then I'm sure even the rumors, right? Like there were many times where people would be saying, "What are you guys doing, anyways? Like you're out all night." Like I'm sure some rumors were going around the courthouse, right? Like we're just playing music. That's all we're doing. Here we are today.
Yeah. Making incredible songs. Well, I'm excited to see it. I can't wait to hear the next songs. And I really think you guys are going to find an audience that as you're putting this stuff out, because there's something about it. Just like I said, just listening to Show Me, I like how new things kept happening throughout. I was like, oh, that's cool. Oh, that's cool. And it just gives you something to, I don't know. I guess you kind of get used to when a lot of songs that come out, it's just, you've heard the first 30 seconds, you kind of know what the whole song is, You
can still hear it, but go on and do something else.
Yeah.
Where I think what we're doing here anyways, in my opinion, my humble opinion, is that we're kind of trying to take you on a journey a little bit, and stick with it. Like really hear it out and see where we end up,
Yeah.
So far, so good.
So far, so good. So people, make sure you're following 2DrinkTheFish on. Check out their website, subscribe on YouTube, watch the new video, leave a like, leave a comment on the video, follow them on Instagram and Facebook. And this was great, guys. This was a lot.
Thanks.
Thanks for having us, Scott.
Thanks,
really
Scott.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
And guys, thank you for watching, everybody. If you haven't yet, please hit the like button, boop the like button, boop, on the bottom of this video. And you can follow me at youtube.com/Scott Dion Brown. You can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter as well if you like. YouTube is the best place, though, because you can get all the videos, the live streams, vlogs, all that stuff. Also, check out my latest song cover. I did a cover of We Don't Talk About Bruno, the a cappella version. I'm singing all the parts. I'm doing all the instruments with my vocals as well. So check it out. We Don't Talk About Bruno, the a cappella version on my YouTube channel. And everybody, we have arrived at the end of the show. To Drink the Fish, any final words to our viewing audience?
Lee?
Well, I hope you have good speakers. If you need good speakers, because there's a lot of information in this song. So in all the songs,
yeah, just all we can ask for is just give it a listen. Tell us what you think. Hope you like it.
There you go.
We're having fun.
Having fun. All right, people. Guys, thanks for being here. And we will see you all next time.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.
Morning.